Now let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history. This week, a fire at an Adventist health institution in Battle Creek sparks dissent.
Welcome to This Week in Adventist History. On February 18, 1902, Battle Creek Sanitarium was totally destroyed by fire. The sanitarium was the flagship Adventist health institution, having been founded over 30 years earlier. But in the 1890s, it began to become increasingly secular in its ethos as a result of the leadership of Dr. John Harvey Kellogg. Ellen White warned church leaders that there was a danger of the sanitarium losing its Adventist character. The fire was seen as a judgment from God. Unfortunately, the rebuilding of the sanitarium became a divisive issue, with White urging church leaders to move institutions out of Battle Creek, where she felt Kellogg's influence had become unhealthy, whereas Kellogg was determined to rebuild on a grand scale in Battle Creek. In the end, the dissension over the sanitarium was one of the catalysts for the disfellowshipping of Kellogg 6 years later in 1907. The sanitarium ceased to be owned by the Adventist Church. On a more positive note, 8 years before the fire, but halfway around the world on February 22nd, 1894, the first Seventh-day Adventist missionaries to West Africa, Edward L. Sanford and Carl G. Rudolph, arrived at Appam in what was then called the Gold Coast, today's modern country of Ghana. Today there are 400,000 Seventh-day Adventists in Ghana, spiritual descendants of those first missionaries. That was This Week in Adventist History.